Hey, this is your boy P.Weezy with another hot topic. I'm sure you guys have seen the recent viral video of Mr. Barry Allen, aka Mr. TKO. We have an exclusive interview with him letting us know all the details. But before we get into this viral video, I need y'all to hit the notification button, subscribe, like, and share. Now let's get into this video. All right. It is your boy P.Weezy. I am live from Atlanta radio station. I'm here with Mr. Barry Allen, aka TKO.
How's it going?
All righty, now don't blame the messenger that you done got the TKO nickname. How you feel about that?
Well, if you look, if you can see it on the back of my hoodie, it actually says Mr. TKO now.
Oh, okay then.
I had a buddy of mine. He decided to make me a hoodie, and it kind of stuck with it. So,
hey man, you gotta go with it as it's moving. Slow motion better than no motion. Now, I had an opportunity to look at part of the video with you and Mr. I believe his name is Eric Zane.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a few questions that I wanted to just kind of ask before I get into the actual altercation that took place.
All right.
Okay, yeah, when I was watching the interview, first of all, I want to, send my apologies to what you had to go through, seeing that you were just sitting there minding your own business, just trying to buy a tea. Now, when I seen the video, I had different emotions that I was actually going through. But when I seen the interview made me a little madder than the actual incident.
The crazy part is I didn't even notice it.
Really?
Like I knew it, but I wasn't looking at it. Like I was more just excited that somebody wanted to hear my story versus
the particulars.
But now that I've done a couple of them, now I'm kind of see it. It's kind of a pattern.
Right. And, they talk about culture vultures in hip hop. They've mentioned DJ Vlad being a culture vulture.
I believe he is.
Yeah, and when I've never even knew this gentleman, Mr. Eric Zane, but when I was listening to the interview, as a journalist, I felt as if the way he was coming off from the very beginning, this is not a humorous situation. Nothing was funny about the altercation. Nothing is hilarious about the words that were used throughout that facility, throughout the convenience store, wherever you guys were at. Nothing about that was funny. So that was the first thing that kind of struck me was the humor that the energy that he had as far as it being humorous. And that's not a humorous situation. This is a serious situation. We're dealing with racism. We're dealing with police injustice. We're dealing with police shootings. And our counterparts, they don't have to deal with some of the issues that we're dealing with on an everyday basis. So that was the first thing that kind of struck me, his humor about a serious situation when we even talking about Black Lives Matter. You did say, you just, more or less happy that someone wanted to hear your story. And I definitely can relate to what you're saying, but what happened, that grew a leg of its own because it was injustice for what that young man said and his actions. Now, had you ever seen this particular guy before at the gas station or at the convenience store?
Nope, never met him before. I haven't seen him since either.
Do you go there often?
I just left the Circle K before we did this.
Okay, and that's where it was located at.
It's my store. It's where I go to. It's like one of my main stores.
Okay, and you said this took place in Ohio?
Yeah, in Elyria, Ohio, right outside of Cleveland.
Okay, now I'm originally from the Midwest. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved to Georgia years ago.
Okay, Chi-Town up in here. I understand.
Yes, sir. Midwest is the best. Now, what I would like to ask is what that young man said, is that the climate of what's going on out in the city? Is there racial tension? And is this something that is a normality in the city?
Mostly. But see, you got different kinds. You don't have, not all of them, have that animosity towards, even thinking about it. But there is a lot of them that do. There's a lot of people that just don't like you because of the color of your skin.
How old are you?
I'm 30. Be 31 in a week or so.
Okay, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Had you ever had someone use that word to you?
A few times actually. I just don't. When I was younger, since I've been, 25 and up, not really.
Okay. Well, one of the questions I always wanted to talk, well, I did talk about the climate of racism in Ohio. So you say that there is some form of racism that's there. It's not unheard of.
In Ohio itself, if you look at the northeastern, Cleveland area, Akron area, it's not as big. But if you go towards southern Ohio, oh yeah, getting close to West Virginia, oh yeah.
Okay. I see exactly what you're saying. Okay,
but
so
let me say, they're in places like Avon, Amherst, more predominantly white cities. Yeah, they're still there. Like they don't say it as out loud, but you can tell from the actions, the looks. They got feelings too.
right. Okay. So now, I noticed that they did say I think you are a father of 5.
Yes.
Okay, well, congratulations on raising the daughters and the sons. You know what I mean? You're definitely leaving a legacy for yourself when you check up out of here.
The crazy part is I've shown all my kids the video.
And that's what I was going to ask. How did it make you feel to have to show the kids this particular video?
It's probably not the answer most people are looking for, but I was proud because I want my kids to know, like, this is not what we do. This will not stand anymore. And if you got to defend yourself, do it don't go in it with already thinking you're going to fight. Do your best to get out of it, but if you got to do it, defend yourself and make sure you don't take it and don't let anyone tell you that you were wrong for standing up for yourself.
That's real. That's absolutely right.
I want my kids to be raised like all of my kids have respect. Right. They don't just act like, granted, yeah, my son Silas, he don't have a filter. Not at all. But the rest of them, they don't act like that. My kids don't even say that word. I don't.
Okay. Even as we've gotten older, there's been almost like a term of endearment with how we speak with each other in the culture.
I can't lie. I've let it slip a few times, especially when I'm hanging with my close friends and my brothers. Yeah, it's different, but when it comes to being around I don't call my kids that.
Right. Let me ask you, what is your nationality? Because you seem like you could be mixed with something.
I'm Black and Italian.
Black and Italian. Okay. So them watching the video, was this a video that, they've never had to watch or witness or experience? And had you ever spoke to them about racism prior to this particular situation taking place?
I have, but my kids are still rather young. Okay. Like my oldest is 11, but she doesn't look at the world that way. She's autistic. She doesn't look at the world. She looks at everybody as just, you are a person. Like she doesn't even pay attention to different skin colors. That's just not. But my other ones, like my next one's 8, about to be 9.
Okay.
So they're not at the age where I can really
explain to them. Right.
But I've had conversations with them, like especially after the George Floyd incident. Like I've spoke to my kids why it happened, what was going on, and what I don't know how to put it, but as in, this is why it happened. Okay. And you have to look at it, every situation, no matter where you go, somebody feels that type of way, but don't you feel that type of way. Right. You don't have that animosity or any feeling toward anybody. Unless they do something to you, you have no reason to dislike that person.
Right. Because I believe racism is taught. Racism is actually taught because you can find all kids of all ethnicities and you put them all in the same room and they're just going to play with each other as kids do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you have to install a certain type of morality or lack of morality in your kids. This would have to be something that's spoke on in the household for people to feel comfortable using those type of words in public.
Honestly, I believe that a lot of days most parents don't even know that they're teaching their kids that, because they say things or let things slip with the kids in the car, or as they get older, you know, they be like, look at that guy. This is why he's like that. He's a troublemaker. They're all troublemakers. Stuff
right,
like
but the
that.
same thing.
No, they're doing it.
Now, the same thing that, in my opinion, that you're justifying for them, you've gotten grown to the point where you make it your business to not even say it, and it's more accepted amongst our culture than theirs. So I can't even give them that pass, because at a certain point, no matter how you was taught, you still know the difference between right and wrong.
Right. I don't I feel like if you let your kids do certain things, or if your kid does something or says something, you don't correct it, then you are allowing it. You don't feel like it's a bad thing, and you let it happen. Then it builds up, and it builds up to where they become, I don't like you because of the way you are.
Right.
Like I don't do that. Like my kids, I let them know. Like for instance, my 9-year-old, after that whole George Floyd thing, she went and told a friend that she can't talk to him no more because she's white.
Wow.
She misunderstood the entire point of what I was saying to her.
Right.
But then when I explained to her, you know, that's not the case. You don't do it that way. You don't like her because she did something to you.
Right.
It's not because she's white. It didn't matter that the cop was white, Puerto Rican, black, any of them. If you kneel on somebody's neck and kill them, that's a problem.
That's true.
I don't give a damn what color you are.
Right.
You could have been black leaning on a Spanish person. I still would feel the same way about you. Exactly. It's like I don't let my kids feel like I explained it to her different. Now she don't do that anymore, but that was just at that moment. She was only like 6. Right. So it's just.
And like you saying, having to explain that type of situation to a child, you know, they think as a child. So, you know, because of the situation, she may have just said, because of what I've saw, because I've heard, then I'm just going to just disassociate myself because of the circumstances. But I'm glad you were able to let them know that it's not about black or white, it's about injustice, period. Now, back to Mr. Eric Zane. Another things that he had mentioned in the interview, he said, you made people so mad with he said you made so many people happy with your violent act. I was blown away by that. I was very disappointed because there was a cause and an effect. Mm-hmm. It's like everybody's overlooking the cause. And the cause was the verbal abuse that not only was he giving to you, but given to other people that was in the actual place. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So that was something that I definitely thought was overlooked in the interview. Like, how did you just go ahead and say so many people will be happy because of that? I don't think it was a kumbaya type of situation, but I felt as if he was more or less painting a picture of how African Americans deal with a situation regarding race. Yeah. And that wasn't the case. When I looked at the video, you know, he was antagonizing you. He was antagonizing everybody. You know what I mean? So if anything, I think when we talk about the district attorney, he should be looking at the young white guy and look at giving him a hate crime.
But they won't do that.
So they won't do that?
And it sucks not. And granted, the new prosecutor here is a new person. He just got elected. He got sworn in yesterday, I believe.
Wow.
So the article going around, I don't believe it's real because of that. But at the same time, I don't believe they will prosecute him because of the fact that in their eyes, he didn't do nothing wrong. All he did was say a word, and he says it the way we say it, which doesn't change I don't want to cuss. It doesn't change a damn thing for us. Right. If you say it with ER or an A, it still bothers me. So I don't believe they'll go after him. I don't believe he'll do nothing to me either. But at the same time, I feel like if any one of us were to be charged, it's going to be me because I'm an angry black man who used a weapon to defend himself. And they don't look at it that way.
Well, in my opinion, he lucky it was the T. Because if it would have been your fist, we could have been talking about a whole different situation. Yeah, the
I'd
tea actually, the little aluminum actually saved him.
Yeah, and he's lucky that it busted. Because if it didn't, I probably would have hit him with it twice.
Now, okay, so another thing that I wanted to ask was that he said, and this is a message to all the stupid fucks. If this is what you do, this is what's going to happen to you. That's not what's, that's you're perpetuating a situation, whether resolving it, because now you're setting the stage for if someone else wants to react in that manner, now they may want to bring it up as a criminal charge because now it looks like a copycat.
I'm antagonizing somebody to do the same thing.
Right. Instead of dealing with the actual problem, which was verbal abuse, which was racial slurs, which in my opinion was a hate. That should be a hate crime.
If you take everybody, I believe it's a hate speech.
Yeah, if you take yourself and put it on the other shoe and you do what he did to you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. You definitely would be needing some bond money right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If I'd have done that, if I'd have run in there screaming out calling them their H word or the C word or something like that, they're gonna take offense to it. No, right. None of them wants to be called that. Right. But at the same time, when somebody calls me the N word, I'm supposed to just be okay with it because we say it. That's not the case anymore. Yeah, I don't think black people should keep saying it, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me when I hear black people say it. Like it doesn't, like, to me, I feel like when black people say we took a hateful word that you guys use to torment us and turn it into a way we can greet each other and made it a thing between us, a cultural thing between us. Yeah, the definition is still ignorant, but at the same time, they don't look at it that way anymore. We look at it as it's just a word, like you my homie. If I call you my N-word, that's letting you know that I have respect for you.
Right.
Now,
right.
If a white person were to say it, then to me, I don't care how you say it or what way you say it. To me, I feel like you were telling me I'm back in the day and you wish you could whip me in the back.
Right, right.
That's
and
just
it's
how
derogatory.
I feel.
It's derogatory. And we've been
no
around
matter how
long
you twist it, yeah.
Right, to where that's a no-brainer. And even with hip hop, you may have some, people who like certain rappers and they use those words in the rap songs. But that's cool. Do the rap at your house. But when you are in public, it's just paying a certain level of respect. It's just like, well, I don't know how someone may take me saying this. Because if that's the case, then we could just start using the words that we want to use, the C word and the H word, and we could just use those loosely. But I don't like, even with the word that we use, and I'm going to say it, nigga, N-I-G-G-A. Yeah. I take from Tupac Shakur, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished.
I'm like Tupac.
You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't give words that much power, but I never would know what I would do under certain circumstances. Now, let me ask you this. How did the community respond to the situation and the community that you live in? Is it a predominantly mixed area? Is it all black, or how's the actual area?
Well, the area I'm from was predominantly black. I grew up on the south side of Valeria. It's predominantly black. Okay. That was more like the hood area. But then I would live on the east side, which at one point was a predominantly white side. Now it's more mixed culture over here. But there's still sides of Valeria that more white than black, and some is more black than white. But honestly, the entire city of Valeria showed me love. I've only ran to a couple people who were, bitter people, but most of them, everywhere I go, they want to stop, want a picture, they give me a fist bump, they want me to sign something, they'll go buy a tea and ask me to sign it for them.
Wow.
It's been, even I went in places and people, it'd be like 9 in the morning. Come on, man, let me buy you a tea. You ain't got to drink it right now. I just want to buy you one, man. It's like, and honest to God, it's more white people that come up to me than black people.
Okay.
So the city of Valeria has had my back beyond I can't even imagine. Even outside of Valeria, pretty much the entire Ohio that I know of has been pretty much behind my back. I haven't got too many, you were violent, you did this and that kind of message. But most of it's been pretty much love.
And so that's good. That's good. I mean, because like I said, there's a cause and effect. And let me ask you this: after the incident happened, did you go get you another tea, or you didn't?
Yeah. At that point, I felt like I really needed one now. Like,
so you had to go and get one out.
I wasn't even, when I left here to go to the store, I wasn't trying to buy one. I went to the store just to go buy me a Polar Pop. I went to go get one of these.
Okay. Okay.
So when I got there, I'm like, because I was already having a bad day. I had just woken up from a nap, and I had a bad dream about my mom. So I felt like, you know what? I'm going to just grab one. I don't feel like dealing with this today. So I grabbed one, and then I got in line. But he was already yelling out the racial slurs when I got in the store.
Okay.
He was telling the two employees behind the counter, which are black guys, the N-word. And
so
you can
why
tell
would
by
they call the police? Why? I mean, for them to allow him to antagonize them like that in their place of business, if it would have been the other way around, they would have been on the 911 quick as hell.
Yeah, but I feel like they didn't, because you can, like, even that Circle K now, they don't even let you take pictures in there no more. They don't even, like, I could tell, like, they stopped buying teas. They don't even sell teas in it no more.
No.
I for the last 3 days, I went to the store. They haven't had one on the shelf.
No, that's crazy.
Like,
that don't even make no sense.
That don't. But I think the people who are in charge of it don't like it. And if they would have done something, I think their jobs would have been at stake. But I feel
now they
like,
blaming the tea.
Yeah.
See,
I think, honestly, God, I believe you can tell they wanted to knock him out, but their jobs are more important, which I get.
Right.
I would have probably let it slide too if I was employed there, but I'm not. So when I got in line and he wouldn't stop saying it after I've asked him over 100 times, I don't care how drunk you is.
Right.
If I ask you to stop saying a certain word because you were disrespecting me and making me upset, you should stop. If you don't want those problems.
Right.
Now, if you want those problems, then keep going.
Carry on.
Because at some point you gonna make me react to it. Like,
right.
I was like, they didn't show this in the video in the first half. He was doing all this before she pulled out her camera. That's why she pulled it out, because you could tell she felt like something was about to happen.
Right.
So when when the video cuts on, he said something about his mom letting him or raising him that way. He grew up in the hood. His mom don't care if he's saying shit. Like, man, I don't give a fuck what your mom say.
Exactly.
Video cuts on. Fuck my mama. Fuck your mama. Okay. Now, my mom had passed. Yesterday was the day we buried her in the ground.
Wow.
Over a year ago. So it was still fresh.
Right.
When he said that, I was already in fighting mode. I was ready to go.
Right.
But I kept trying to telling myself, like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But when he went to put his hand on me, when he go to tap me and say, I'm not trying to disrespect you, and then when I dropped the can, he went to go kick my hand, that was it.
Right. And they say a drunk mind gives sober thoughts.
I agree. I fully agree. I feel like when you drunk or angry, you say the things you really mean, you just don't, you got that courage to say it now.
Right. Now, let me ask you this.
Get you knocked out.
How did the tea company respond to the actual situation? Because I'm sure, their stocks could have went up.
I've seen a couple pictures people posted on Facebook saying their stocks went up and down, whatever. But I, honest to God, I believe it went up, because you looked at my messenger on Facebook or any of it, it's about millions of people buying teas and taking pictures with it.
Wow.
I got
they reached out to you?
in different countries. Twisted Tea called me this morning. Their exact words were, well, we may be able to put you on a can, but we can't promote the violence. I'm like, okay. That lets me know that it ain't about what happened. It's about what
who I am.
Everyone else has said and making me look out to be. Like, I've had a news article telling me that it pretty much calling me violent. They ain't even talk to me. They talk to Circle K. And they ain't even talk to the black guys that worked there that night. They talk to the people who aren't even there about what happened.
Well, Atlanta radio station, we're going to help you out with that. You know what I mean? We're going to do some PR behind that. Because at the end of the day, they're generating money off of a situation that is personified.
A lot of people is making money off of
it. Out of our misery. Like Pac said, they're making a living out of our misery. If they say Black Lives Matter, then this would be a great PR for the tea company to embrace what you did. And
they made a post about it, bro. They made a post talking about how they promote Black Lives Matter. But when a guy been called, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, that thing popped up. But they're posting talking about, yeah, we support Black Lives Matter. We want equal justice. We want everybody to. And then next, you know, when the opportunity comes, you don't do anything. You tell me I'm the violent one, and y'all can't support what I have.
Now, they specifically use the word violent.
Violence.
And see, that goes back to what Mr. Eric Zane said. He said that out of his mouth.
With Eric Zane, I never knew him before this. And while we were talking, like, I wasn't looking at it that way because it was in the fresh of it happening. I was just happy that somebody asked me to give my side of what happened.
Right.
That's all I wanted to get my point out, that I wasn't the one trying to cause a fight. I wanted to not fight him. Right. I kept throwing it out there. I don't want to fight you. Right. But he kept telling me to fight him. See. So when it happened, I mean, hey. And of course, the only reason why I use a tea can is just because I so happened to have it in my hand. Right. And I was flipping it up in the air, and yeah, I thought about hitting him, but I wasn't going to until I dropped it and he went to go kick it.
And I seen that. That's the last straw. Now, right, because you could have, I don't care if you missed me or kicked me, if you grazed me, if I felt the wind, now it's a problem because
that was it.
Yeah, and
once that wind come in my bubble, I'm ready to go.
And you were directly right in defending yourself because he was already belligerent, already disrespectful, already using racial slurs. So how much aggressive, overly aggressive. So how much do they want an individual to take before they react? You know what I mean? There's a cause and an effect. So if that was the reaction that he wanted, buddy, you kept campaigning and your ass got elected.
You want to know a perfect example? I'll keep thinking in my head now that you brought this up. Trayvon Martin was an innocent kid walking, eating some damn Skittles. A white man walks up, feels slightly threatened, kills the kid.
Right.
He got away, and people were promoting him to be a hero.
Right. Robin Hood.
Yeah. Now, I'm in the store. A black guy is in the store, and a white man is provoking him beyond belief. I attack back. I'm violent. I'm an angry person.
And that was really what disturbed me, and his laugh. It was like a devilish laugh. Like he already knew how he was going to try to put a spin on the situation. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to allow you to speak on the situation and give it a different spin from the radio station standpoint, because you look like a mild-mannered young man. You look like you're a father that's looking to take care of his kids. You didn't look for any smoke or wanted to create an altercation. But you know, that's part of how media is able to spin a situation so they can get views, so they can get likes, they can get comments, and then they can continue to rive up this perception that we're animals, that we're super predators, and we're not. It's just how long you want to beat a dog down before the dog get up and get tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, eventually that dog is gonna bite your ass if you keep messing with him.
Exactly. Now I noticed that you have a GoFundMe page. Who established it, and what is actually like the purpose behind the whole GoFundMe?
It depends. There's a couple of them that one guy said he made it for me, but I don't understand how you can make me a GoFundMe and you got the information.
Do you know him?
No, not personally, no.
Oh, wow.
I know him from all this stuff happening. Yeah, he's a cool dude, been messaging me, talking about how much he wants to help. You know, I ain't got no problems with him at all. But it just threw me off when he said he wanted to make me one. And I'm like, how you gonna make it and you got the information, bro?
Right, I need to send you my Cash app or my Zelle app and put it in the link in the description.
You can take all that money and give me half and say that this is what they donated. And I'll never know.
That's
but
true.
The one I do have is of my son. That's the only one that's actually mine. My son, the Silas one I'm telling you about, he was born with countless disabilities. Okay. Like his organs were all in the wrong spot. So when they put them in the right spot, a lot of things didn't wake up. Now his legs, he's losing muscle mass, all types of stuff. Like like now he's in a power wheelchair. Okay. And the car we had, you couldn't fit one. You can.
Okay.
The only wheelchair we could take was the fold-up one, and it's turning into a piece of crap. We've had it for 6 years by now.
Wow.
So the one that somebody donated him one.
Okay.
And we can't take it in the car. We could barely fit all of our kids in the car itself.
Okay.
So we wanted to get some kind of handicap available van.
Right, handicap accessible. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was primarily what the GoFundMe.
The whole GoFundMe was for. Granted, now I can't thank you the people enough who have donated. Like, I really can't. Like, when we woke up and saw that it was started getting shared and then money was starting to come in for it, I cried.
Right. Right. But you see how God can take. Now, was the GoFundMe page up before the incident happened?
We put the GoFundMe up either, I want to say it was the end of last year or the beginning of the year.
Wow.
And
now you see how God takes a situation, a negative situation, and can turn it into a much brighter situation. You know what I mean? But
the crazy part is it's
all racism.
All through racism. Like, who would have ever thought that would be the way it go? But at the same time, even though it's not really much of a benefit, you know, on the sense of people twisting words and such, but the video itself shows you that it let everyone know, like, it's still happening.
Right.
Like, it's still happening. Even after all that's been going on.
Right.
These people still doing it.
Yes.
And at some point, like you say, you can only push a dog so many times.
Right.
People are gonna react back. Nobody's just gonna let you keep calling them names. Nobody's gonna keep letting you treat them like they're not human.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
That's
like
true.
I have a family, and if you come near my family, I kill you. I take you out real fast.
Right.
I'm not an angry person, but I'm a defensive person.
Right.
I will protect my family by any means. I'll protect myself by any means. So if you cross that line, you are asking for whatever to happen. That's like you telling me I want the smoke now. I ain't did nothing to you, but you all of a sudden want smoke with me, and I ain't even did nothing. Like, I don't even know you. I ain't never met that guy before in my life.
And that's crazy.
And all that happened was because he wouldn't stop yelling out the N-word in the store.
That's so sad, because we're in 2021 and we have so many things to be worried about. That should be one of the last things. And if you feel that way, it's okay to feel that way. But when you
don't expose it.
Right.
That's the only thing we ask. I don't care if you yeah, don't get me wrong, a closet racist is probably one of the worst, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt anybody by him shutting up and going home and saying whatever he got to say.
Right. Right.
I don't care what you say between you and your friends, but when you come in a public place where there's black people working there, then you asking for somebody to say something to you.
Exactly. Has he reached out to you? Has anybody from his camp reached out to you?
The first interview I did, it was a live one with the Lex Vegas show. Dude, amazing brother. Okay. He had people calling in, like live phone calls, and his brother and his uncle both called in and said that, bro, he needed it. You did what you had to do. He deserved it. I'm glad you did it, because he needed to be smacked around a little bit.
Right. That's his wake-up call.
Telling me. Like one person asked me if I could do it again.
So he's been an asshole.
Apparently, even all the friends that I know him, said he's never changed. He's been the same person. A week ago, he got beat up in the bar. The week before, they got beat up in the bar, waving a gun at you. Okay. How you get beat up with a gun in your hand?
Right. See, now the DA and the officers, they need to be really keeping an eye on him, because he seems like he's the neighborhood problem.
Like, I don't bother nobody. Since my wife has had my first kid, I left the streets alone. Right. I don't want to run the streets no more. I don't want to go party and get shot at. I don't want to go get drunk and get a DUI. I don't want to go out doing drugs with other people. I'm happy at home.
That's real.
I don't want to say it online, but the green plan, I could do it at home. I have a medical card for it. And I can drink at home. I can't get in trouble. Only thing the person that can yell at me is my wife.
I know that's right. Right. That's real. That's because she love you.
Yeah. Like, honest to God, I don't even, like, most of the interviews, all of them wanted me to have a tea. I haven't drank one because she's been keeping me from doing too much of them.
Okay.
Like, she don't allow me to drink as much as Like, I have epilepsy, so it could cause me to have a seizure. She don't let me do it.
Okay.
She keeps all of that regulated.
Okay.
I couldn't ask for a better woman.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, listen, I want to ask you, well, you know, Bob's been interviewed, and I'm going to put this on a lot of the platforms. I'm going to rip the audio and put the actual audio and play it on the radio. What do you want people to know about Mr. Barry Allen?
Nothing. I feel like this whole thing has made people have their own opinion about me. I just want people to know I'm not racist, but I am pro-black.
Right.
Like, I love my culture. I love my people. Like, only thing I want to see is all of us becoming equal. We want the same opportunities and the same consequences that you guys get.
Right. The same opportunities.
That's all we want. And if we do something, I want us to get in trouble like they would.
Right.
But if they don't get in trouble for it, then why should we go to jail for it?
And it's funny that you say that. We do a situation that's called Playfair Fridays on the radio station. And the Playfair is I don't know if we call it an anonym or a synonym, but it's fighting against institutionalized railroading. And the reason why I mentioned that is because if we do something wrong, we're held to the standards of the law.
Yep.
But you could take our white counterpart and we could commit the same crime, but we're given different time. And I feel like that's why some of the white people feel that they have that privilege. And I'm not racist at all. You know what I mean? I don't think all white people are evil. You know, I treat
my brother is white.
Right, right. I treat people how they treat me. Yep. You know, I see character and not color. Yep. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like this happened for one, you know, hopefully you guys can get a nice van that's wheelchair accessible for your son. Have enough elbow room for everybody.
We actually went and got one. Was it yesterday or the day before? We got enough money to where we went and bought us a van.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I mean, granted, it isn't. You can't put the wheelchair inside of it, but it's big enough for everybody to be comfortable in, and it comes with it. They, like, the place we bought it from, went and bought him a hitch to put on it.
Oh, really?
Like, they waived all the tax, title, and all those fees. They waived all that. They were going to put they want us to buy the hitch, which we'll pay for with the loan and stuff, but they're going to put it on for free. They gave us all the other extra. They gave us a lot of stuff with it.
And see, that's good PR. You know, so shout out to the company that actually did that. You know, this is the time for big businesses, Fortune 500 companies, anybody that want to say or show a certain level of support. This is how they make themselves appear to be for us and not really against us. You know what I mean? Did any news people reach out to you?
I try to stay away from them now. Ever since the one company, the one place, it was an Action News. I don't know the name. I want to say it was Fox, but they put an article out about the situation, and it was nowhere near what happened.
Wow.
They painted me as the angry black man.
Really?
They didn't even. The only thing I said was that the white guy said the N-word. That was it.
And this is a local news station in your city?
Not my city. It's in the county though. I don't think it's hilarious, but I could be wrong. But because I don't really watch the news anymore. But
now, you know, I'm gonna play the advocate. I probably would have given it to him, and then we could have still spent it the way we're gonna spend this. And then once we spend it, it makes them look a certain type of way. See, sometimes you got to take the bull head on, because at the end of the day, they're accountable and responsible for the content that they put out. So yeah. I would have enjoyed them trying to backdoor the situation to give a different perception of African-American men that are being verbally abused by racist kids. You know what I mean? So as long as you know in your heart that what happened wasn't what you were looking for, then, you know, they can try to make it whatever they want to make it. They're not looking at the cause. They're looking at the effect. But Mr. Barry Allen, I definitely want to thank you This is Mr. Barry Allen, the son, the father, the brother, the cousin, the businessman, the black man that loves his family as well as his community. So I definitely want to thank you for taking the time to speak with Atlanta Radio Station. And I hate we had to actually meet on this accord, but you know, they say all things happen for the love of the man upstairs.
Trust me, if it wasn't for this whole situation, I wouldn't have the van.
Right.
Like, I really wouldn't have it. The fact that the people that took the GoFundMe and shared it, like, it's been shared over 3 times as much as it did when we first made it.
Wow.
Like, I can't even, I don't even know how to put it in words. Like, I mean, yeah, the situation is terrible, but I feel like, you know, you go through the hard part to get to the good part. So
That's
everything
true.
starts off rough. And then once you get to the end of it.
So we gonna definitely keep resuscitating the situation, because once they see the interview that I've done with you, you know, and we'll go ahead and put your PayPal link on there, your GoFundMe, and just keep this snowball running. And you know, hopefully this situation can bring light to racism, to ignorance, and the fact that, you know, there are people that are willing to help under certain circumstances that we want to try to avoid. You know, so once again, Mr. Barry Allen, I appreciate you so much for taking your time out of your busy day.
I appreciate you, man. The first interview where I could tell that the people, besides the first one, but they're actually on my side without twisting and turning and trying to make their point across.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get with Mr. Eric Zane. I definitely would like to interview him. So
but he isn't a bad guy. I want to say that. Like, I don't believe he had those feelings about it. I feel like he was trying to get some juiciness out of, you know, to get viewers to want to tune into it.
Right.
But from what I'm hearing, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. So
and that's true. And I'm not throwing the young man under the bus. You know, he's a journalist just as well as I am. But I feel like because of the position that he holds and because of his skin color, he has a much greater responsibility to set the record straight so that other radio stations or other podcasts or bloggers, they would have a different perspective versus us being the angry black men. So I'm definitely not knocking him. Get it how you get it. But, you know, I also went to school for debate, but I just wanted to run a few things because as journalists, as radio personalities, we are also accountable for what we put out on these platforms.
Like, I want to let people know I'm okay with doing interviews. Okay. But now I just want it to be about the movement and not the T-can.
That's real.
Make this about what I did it for versus what I did.
Right.
Like, it's not about me hitting him and fighting him. It's about what he said to me that needed to be adjusted. It needed to be brought to light because it's no longer going to be accepted.
Yeah, and somebody need to pull him up under what rock he sleep in and have him be more apologetic. That's my thing. You said what you said. Now be man enough to apologize and let the world know, like, this is not how you're supposed to speak to any individual. So I feel like as long as they're making it about you versus about him, we're going to continue to have these racial episodes. But once again, my brother, I definitely appreciate it. You make sure to tune in to ARSAtlanta.com and hear some hot music, man. You know, we play all type of music all over the world. So I definitely appreciate it, man. And you stay safe, and I send my regards to your whole family.
I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for actually doing this great interview with me, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. We'll definitely be in touch with you, my brother.
You have a good night, my man.
All right, you too. Hey, how's the weather?
Terrible. Okay. Cold as hell. Cold as hell.
But I had to get that in. You know, it's about 6.
In Atlanta. I
know that's right.
In Atlanta. Don't come back.
All right, my brother. You take it easy.
You too, my man. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.